am I glad to be back to work and tell you about my weekend. So work's been slow, so this weekend I decided I was going to go to day labor and try to get some work in. As I walked in, they said we only have 2 jobs available. Let me explain to you what they are. They said we have 2 jobs. One's construction and the other one is a massage therapist. Which one would you like? I guess y'all can assume which one I picked. I'd like to be a massage therapist, sir. So he says, okay. I'm like, yes, I get to be a massage therapist. This is going to be great. So I get to the location and I speak to the owner there. And they say, we're just going to have you to do basic massages today. Let me kind of show you around. As we walk into the room, you can see beautiful rocks, rain sounds, waterfall sounds. It looks amazing. I immediately become relaxed. I'm like, this is going to be great. Then they show me the table, and the table's a little different than the ones I've seen before, because the ones I've seen before, they have a face hold where you put your face down in. But this one had a hole at the breast area. It's kind of different. So I asked the guy, I'm like, hey man, I've seen these tables before, but I've never seen them with the breast holes in them. What's that for? He said, well, the last thing you want is a woman to come in to get a massage and be squishing her breast while she's laying on the table on her stomach. So we actually put holes in there so the breast can go through them. And it's real cushiony and relaxed. So a little better for them. I was like, okay, well, I've never seen that before, but hey, that's good thinking. So as the day starts out, the first customer I get is a gentleman. Now, I'm not crazy about rubbing on guys, but it's a job. Money's money. Everything goes great. 1-hour session, no happy endings in case you're wondering. And the guy paid great. I made some great money. $60 for an hour. I'm straight with that. So business ends up being a little slow because I waited another hour and a half before anybody else showed up. About that time, about a 50-year-old lady walked in. Beautiful lady. Let me tell you, she was hot. I was like, man, it's going to be fun. So she comes in and she sits on the table and she says, can you step out while I get undressed? I said, absolutely, ma'am. She hollers back at me and says, okay, I'm all set, ready to go. So I get into the room and I make sure that her head's nice and comfy, and I told her just make sure that her breasts are comfortable in the hole. I start at her legs and her feet, start rubbing her feet, start rubbing her legs, and moving up toward the buttock area. As I started to rub right below her butt, she goes, right around that area has been hurting me a lot. I don't know if I just sit on my ass too much or what. But it's kind of sore. Could you put a little extra work in? Of course, I say absolutely. That's one of my favorite parts. So I definitely put some extra work in for you. I work the area real good, and she tells me you're definitely getting an extra tip because you're doing an amazing job. This feels amazing. You're great. Start working up into her spine area and the lower back and up around her ribs area. And she's just telling me, oh, it feels so great. And I'm like, man, I love when people tell me it feels so great. As I get closer to the top of her body, I kind of tripped over something on the floor and I hit something. And all of a sudden she lets out a scream. I say, oh my God, ma'am, are you okay? She said, you kicked my fucking titty. Oh, what the fuck did you just say? She said, you kicked my titty and it hurt real bad. How the fuck did I kick your titty? Y'all, them motherfuckers were hanging to the floor through that hole. Both of them. I guess when I kicked one, it hit the other. It's like one of them things that click back and forth. She said ow like 3 times. So I'm like, oh my God, ma'am, I am so sorry, but how the fuck your titties get so low? She said, I have 7 children to have you know. Well, them motherfuckers sucked the meat out of them? What happened? I can't believe you talked to me like that. You were going to get a good tip. But now you're not. You're not getting a damn thing. I said, listen, bitch, I've done a good job on you. You said I was the best you ever had. Now, if you don't give me a motherfucking tip, I'm going to kick your fucking titties again. He said, you ain't going to do a fucking thing. I'm going to speak to your manager. So I went up and I kicked them motherfuckers again. And I watched them bitches swing. And as they're swinging, I hear her screaming, it burns! It burns! So I said, what burns? What do you mean it burns? So I look again. Guys, her nipples were barely touching the carpet. And every time they swing back and forth, her nipples are getting carpet burned. She's sitting there and she's trying to reach her arms around that table to try to reach her titties to keep them from swinging, and it just wasn't working. She looked like she was a fish out of water flopping around. So she then proceeds to tell me, will you stop my titties from swinging. Just grab them so they'll stop swinging. I said, ma'am, with all due respect, I'm not grabbing your titties. I'm not making you a member of the Me Too movement. I'll figure something out, but I ain't touching your titties. I said, hey, I got an idea. I'll be right back. So I went into the break room there at the massage therapist place, and I grabbed a bag of ice. I said, I'm just going to take this ice back in there and see what we can do. I said, ma'am, now, what I'm going to try to do here is, I know the rules about cold and nipples. I once seen some cold witch nipples. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this bag of ice up under the table right there at your boobies, right below them, and see what happens. She said, I don't care what you do. Just get my frickin' titties from quitting swinging. It's hurting. It's burning. It sucks. So I opened that bag of ice up and I spread that ice all over the carpet right below her titties. Without touching her titties, I put it straight in there and I said, all right, just wait a minute. We sat there for probably a good minute and a half, 2 minutes before I started hearing a squeak, 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 squeak. It was working. Her nipples were getting hard and it was slowing her titties down. The squeak, squeak, squeak went to a squeak, squeak, squeak. I told her, ma'am, I said, ma'am, it's working. She said, yes, it is. Thank you so much. She said, but I'm still pissed off at you. I said, well, listen, wait. I said, let me just finish the massage. You know, you went through a lot in this massage, and a lot of it's my fault. Let me just finish it, and I'll do the rest for no extra cost. She said, no, I don't think so. She said, I've been through this shit too long. My titties are bruised. My nipples are flat. They look like somebody took a file and filed them down. I can't do this no more. I said, well, why don't you turn over and just let me work on the front? Then we ain't got to worry about the titties scrubbing the ground no more. She said, fine. Just get this over with. As she turned over, it took her a minute to get her titties out of that hole. But once she turned over and she laid on her back, I turned my head. I turned back and, holy shit. So what'd you say that for? Nothing, listen. If you want to pick them fuckers up, we got armrests on the side. You can just lay them on each side. And I can continue the massage. Yeah! No, fuck that. I'm out of here. Fuck that. Where's your boss? So the boss walks in. I'm like, hey, listen. And I go to say it and she just cuts me off. I don't know who the fuck you have working for you, but I have bruised titties and filed down nipples. And I didn't come here for that. I came here for a massage. She immediately proceeds to tell him that I kicked her titties and caused her nipples to be filed down. And I tried to explain to him that I tripped and accidentally kicked him the first time. He said, what the fuck happened the second time? There was a second time? So yeah, there was. She refused to tip me and said that she wasn't going to pay for it. So I kicked her fucking titties. He immediately told me to get the fuck off the property and I was no longer allowed to be there and I was trespassed. And she tried to file a complaint for assault on her boobies. It didn't stand, just like her titties. Needless to say, I lost that job. And pretty much the moral of this story is, you bitches need to be wearing your bras. And needless to say, I've got to find another job. I guess I'm going to go back and try to get that construction job. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.